Pull up, grab the fuel nozzle, and get ready to fuel up on trends and strategies to grow your travel center business in this episode of The Truck Stops Here, brought to you by NATSO. Now, here's your host, Amy Toner.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of The Truck Stops Here. I'm your host, Amy Toner, and I'm here with my co-host, Darren Schulte, NATSO's Vice President Membership. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm good. You are listening to The Truck Stops Here, NATSO's podcast. NATSO is the National Trade Association for Truck Stops, and our mission is to advance the success of truck stops and travel centers, and this podcast is just one of the many ways we do that. Today, we are so lucky to have Tony Spuzello, Director of Commercial Fuels at Casey's. Hi, Tony.
Good afternoon.
We're going to talk about fuel cards. Okay, so Casey's continues to grow the commercial fuel business. It sounds like in the last 3 to 4 years, fuel cards has been a big part of that growth and that focus. Tell me about it. Why did you decide to do that?
Yeah, so for a long time, Casey's really bought and sold fuel the same way. So not primarily focused on fleet discounts. We had a very basic credit card and fleet card program that we had in-house. All the billing, all the collections, all the paperwork was done by a staff here at the office. We realized that really wasn't the direction the industry was going, that we needed more help as a company to have a better card, a more secure card, just different options that we really couldn't provide here at our office. So 4 years ago, we branched out, revamped our fleet offer, went with a different card, different partner, and really tried to put a focus behind growing the fleet business as it associates to our locations.
A former CTO at a different truck stop chain was telling me that this, like fuel cards and fuel payments, is sort of the biggest hurdle for success for truck stops. It's the biggest challenge, the thing that needs to be solved. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's certainly a challenge where, who do you partner with? Do you do something in-house? Do you rely on a third party or go direct bill? You can boil it down to, what bin ranges can your pumps accept, right? There's all kinds of technical challenges as well that tie into the fleet card business. So certainly something that folks are figuring out and revamping as they need to, but definitely another challenge for the truck stop industry.
There's a lot happening in it. Okay, so tell us what are your plans? What's happening?
Yeah, so on top of our revamped Casey's card, we have a Casey's Business MasterCard that really works like any other MasterCard piece of plastic in the field. We've re-rolled that out and really have a nice offer. We also have a similar card that's on the Fuelman network. Both are with one parent company. But that really provides some flexibility to our folks and our guests in the field, because it's also a card we use internally, right? Our employees and team members here use that same card. But really, as a guest, it provides some good security. You can order cards, cancel cards. There's a PIN system as well from an anti-theft standpoint. So it's just a better offer overall compared to our legacy card. So we feel pretty good about being able to offer something to our guest network for what really fit well with their business. And then on top of that, we're looking at other third-party cards as well of who and what companies are offering fleet programs on a card that we can also accept. So on top of our card, we accept, a dozen other pieces of plastic, all owned by different groups, but it helps us grow that fleet business by accepting a card that's already deployed, that's already in the hands of drivers, so we can process those payments as well.
Tony, I have just a quick question. So in that card that's branded with the MasterCard, I would assume that if I'm driving a box truck and I pull up to the forecourt, since it's MasterCard branded, I would be able to utilize that even on a diesel purchase or a large gasoline purchase on the forecourt?
Yeah, on the MasterCard rails, it'll work on the forecourt and the backcourt, correct.
Fantastic.
I know you partnered, like you just mentioned, with a lot of different companies. How did you choose those partners? Like, what was important in that choice?
Yeah, so like I said, our team is fairly lean, especially on the fleet side. It's myself and really one other individual out selling the card and the program. So as we looked for a partner, we really thought hard about who can provide some additional value, who has a sales staff, who has a customer service staff that can help drive business to our stores and really sell on our behalf. So knowing that we'd have a fairly lean fuel team for the foreseeable future, we wanted to partner with someone that could bring additional value to the table and didn't just print the card and say, here you go. That we wanted that longer term commitment to grow the business and to have the staff within their organization to help us grow volume.
This one, actually, I'm going to ask both of you. It seems like there's new fuel card companies just popping up all over the place. Why do you guys think that's happening? Darren, what do you think? I'll let you go first.
Certainly. Well, I think some of these like fintech companies have essentially seen an opportunity to maybe create some transparency, especially for the owning operators who in the past have really not had transparency in terms of where they could quickly see all the different prices, posted prices on diesel and so forth. Mm-hmm. So some of them that are entering the market are giving that opportunity. So now a driver can essentially roll into a exit. Let's say there are 4 travel centers there, and rather than trying to look at the different prices that they have on their street signs, he can pull up his app and get a really quick view of what those prices are and what potentially opportunities he or she has for savings. So I think that's one of the things that's certainly happened, and they've seen there's an opportunity there between the regular fleet cards and these almost similar to like a gas buddy of some sort, I'd say, to make it simple for our listeners. Tony, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that the fleet card business has really been owned by 2 large companies for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think some of the fintech companies, as well as just some of the other players in the credit card space, are realizing those 2 other large companies have not been quick to change. Their offer has been relatively static for a while. There's a space or a gap to be filled, like Darren said, to bring a different offer to the table, to provide maybe some buying power that these smaller fleets historically have not had, and to really crack into that space and bring something different to the table that historically has not been there. So again, I don't think that's calling anything out that folks don't recognize, but there's just a gap that small owner operators, smaller regional fleets have not had the best of offer, and now there are players entering the space that are bringing something different to the table that is improving their business.
I think that's very well said.
Yeah. Do you think, I'm sure there are other of our members that are like making these choices. Is there any advice you would give them on making a choice in partners and offerings?
From the merchant standpoint, Amy, or from the fleet standpoint?
For merchant.
Yeah. So, again, consider what your business needs. If you have a robust sales staff and you've got the people power, the manpower to tackle the sales effort, maybe that's not something that you need from a credit card partner. If you have a staff that's lean like we do, where you need additional support on the sales side, the administration side, the billing side, there are groups out there that are happy to provide that. Of course, there's also different ways that you can price fleet fuel. It's not all on a retail minus program. There's cost plus, there's discounts on DEF and secondary products that, maybe some programs can or cannot offer. So really, think about your business as a whole, consider how you want to go to market. There'll be some similarities between groups, but as you look at what you really want to sell, do you want to tie fuel as well as have in-store products available from a maintenance standpoint? Do you have a service center that you need to be able to accept your card at for oil changes and tires? There's just a whole host of things to consider that different card partners can or cannot offer. So make sure you take the time, do the due diligence, and put those card partners through the process to understand what their card is capable of.
Are you getting that question a lot, Darren?
We do with entries to the market that are brand new to this space, or and that could be either from the C-store world, they're moving into the travel center world, or from brand new. We do get that a lot. It's very foreign. Again, especially if you come from the C-store side of the business, maybe you do take some fleet business cards for lack of better words, on your forecourt, but you're traditionally not taking ComData or EFS as an example. So I think the way Tony said it is spot on. You just really have to take a hard look at what are you trying to capture. Do you want big fleet business? Do you want local business? Or do you want to go after plumbers and landscapers and people like that who are often using the most expensive type of card at your forecourt? So those are the things I would say prioritize. And again, to Tony's point, do you have the bandwidth to do it? I think that's where a lot of folks really don't take the time and effort to say that they think they can just hire someone and go out and get all these different gallons. And there's a lot more. It's a lot more sophisticated in this day and age than it was even a short, say, 10, 15, 20 years ago. So.
And Darren, if I could add, just because you pick one card partner for your proprietary card doesn't mean you can't accept the other cards as well, right? So, pick the one that fits your business best, that keeps costs low, that gives you some flexibility, and that you have some pride in that your name is printed on. But then you can also accept the other cards that are in the market as well. So, that decision should not limit the business that you go after from as a truck stop.
Yeah, I think that's very, very well said. The more opportunity you have for the professional drivers to fuel with you, the more options you put out there, the better off you're going to do by getting gallons. So
I put my NATSO Connect hat on too. All these companies will be at NATSO Connect in March in Dallas. Okay, what are your 2023 plans? What do you got in the works now? I know you're wrapping up a lot of new partners, but what's next?
Yeah, I think from a card standpoint, we're in a pretty good spot. We are continuing to look at just new technologies that are either in the market today and up and running, or are on the the sidelines waiting to jump in. So we'll continue to look at those and cast a decently wide net where we don't want to limit ourselves. We want to grow sales and volume and increase gallons purchased, especially in new markets as Casey's enters into those. So I'd say that's on the forefront. Our card partner is looking to add a second, sales rep to their staff to sell on our behalf. And then I hope we get to a point as well where we can add another internal sales staff member as well. So grow our team, cover more territory. There are more products and more gallons to sell out there, and more fleets are looking for different merchant partners outside of the major three. So we need more of a team to help get that effort done.
All right, before we let you go, I have just a few fun questions that I like to surprise people with. They're easy. Okay. What is your go-to on the road snack?
Man, go-to on the road. Recently, it's been some of those meat cheese sliced combos. Some come with crackers, some don't.
Okay.
Try not to load up on all the fast food that's out there, but some of those are easy to have on your lap and eat while you're going down the road. So that's been a popular one here the last couple road trips.
Okay. Let's say you're stuck at a truck stop in a snowstorm. How do you pass the time?
Probably burn both my phones out. I'm the 2 cell phone carrier, so I'm sure I'd find a way to burn through both batteries. But your eyes start to burn after a while, and that's probably not the best use of time. I have been trying to bring a book along with me occasionally, depending on how far the trip is. But I'd probably go digital first, and then that analog paper option second.
Okay. Do you prefer to ride or drive?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'd say drive. Be in control. Stop when you need to. But there are certainly road trips where it's 8 hours, and a couple in, you're awfully tired from a long weekend or a busy week at the office. So there are occasions where riding sounds perfectly fine as well, and a little snooze on the road trip might be in order.
Okay, just 2 more. How do you take your truck stop coffee?
Black and as tall as I can get it. So a big cup of coffee, or if I make one at home, make sure you reuse the Yeti or the hot cup to fill it up as often as you can.
Okay. And this is our controversial question. Is it truck stop, travel plaza, or travel center?
My gut says truck stop. We call them commercial diesel sites.
Okay.
Casey's doesn't have a bona fide, solidified truck stop offer that's the same across all of our stores. We have kind of 4 different tiers of stores, so we classify those different. We call them a commercial diesel offer or a commercial diesel location.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast, and thank you for being a NATSO member. Before we say goodbye, I just want to remind people that they can find us online at natso.com/podcast. If they have any questions, they should send them to me at editor@natso.com. All right. Bye, Darren. Bye, Tony.
The Truck Stops Here was brought to you by NATSO, the association representing truck stops and travel centers. Visit natso.com for more information. The Truck Stops Here is produced by NATSO in collaboration with Human Factor. Producers are Amy Toner and Darren Schulte.